since Voorhees. Fellowship of Christian Athlete, president of that. As a man of God, not a perfect man, because there's nobody that's perfect. A man of God, for sure. That's one. A teacher, man of God, one. Second, a father, and thirdly, man, education is very important, man. Not only for everybody, but African American kids, man. We have to understand how important education is, man, when it comes down to our kids. So God, being a great father, and teaching education, man, because it's very important. Without education, without God, we'll go nowhere. Without our fathers, we can't go nowhere. And without education, brother, you ain't going too far.
It's the Logan Power Show. Inspirational and motivational. It's the Logan Power Show. Informational to help you grow. Logan Power Show.
And now the host, Calvin Logan.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan. I want to thank you all for watching this special episode of the Logan Power Show. I've always said this, that it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. But it's also a big thing where you never size people up where you think they're going to go, because God will take you somewhere that nobody thought that you would ever go. I got with me a guy who is a famous player, Division II star, graduated from HBCU, gone on has been collegiate coach, high school coach, now AD. His son is one of the top prospects in high school basketball. We're claiming that his son does very well. And we want to talk to the coach that God has a handling on his life. He's a believer, the one and only, my brother, Russell Branch. What's going on, my brother?
Not too much, man. You know the motto, man. One day at a time, man. One day at a time, Cal. We've been knowing each other for a long time, man. Voorhees. But back then, hey, both of us, man, was always connected to God. We always believed in God. In college, we're not doing the right thing all the time, but most of the time we did.
yes, my brother. Yes, my brother.
Most of the time we did, man. But basketball was always the thing that, I always loved, man. It took me a long way. Everything I have right now is always connected to God. But secondly, it's connected to that little orange basketball, man. Orange basketball has really blessed my life, man. I'm talking about really blessed my life.
Amen. Let's talk about your collegiate career. Division II, NAIA, Voorhees College, shooting guard / small forward. Definitely has some point ability. Let's get it out there. I'm not gonna say that's all you play with shooting guard, but I say 1 through 3 is where you mostly were at. What made you choose Voorhees College? Because a guy of your caliber, jump shot very fluid, high percentage. What made you choose Voorhees College in your collegiate career?
I actually committed. I went to a high school, Booker T. Washington, in Norfolk, Virginia. Booker T were like big time players come out. Bruce Smith, Michael Evans, McDonald American. So I was ranked in high school, and what I ended up doing was I signed with Wright State. I was at a prep school. I went from Booker T to prep school, and I played with a guy named Lamar Odom. A lot of people don't know that. And then I ended up signing with Wright State. I had UNLV, Wright State, and I had it was one more school out there I had, man, Oral Roberts. You know what I mean? I was gonna pick Oral Roberts because it's a Christian school. So I go on all 3 of the visits, and then I go to Wright State, and this guy said, "Man, you're gonna play right away." So the assistant coach is recruiting me. I'm like, I like this guy. The assistant coach. Now, the head guy was a really good guy, but the assistant coach was my guy. I was like, oh man, I'm going here because of the assistant coach. Young guy too. I'm like, yeah, he like to train. So I'm like, yeah, he gonna make sure go to the league. Hey, it's gonna be because of him. He trained all the time. So he ended up leaving. Guess where he ended up going at? To Voorhees College. I followed him. I was like, listen, I don't know nobody in Ohio. I was closer to home in Virginia, I say. And then I had some situations back home where my mom had gotten in a little bit of trouble, so she might was thinking about, maybe doing some a little bit of time. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead, man, and put Voorhees College. In case she end up, had to do some time in Goochland, Virginia, which she did. I ended up picking Voorhees because of those two reasons. My mom had got in a little bit of trouble, and then with the law, and then the assistant coach had went down to Voorhees, and I was like, man, I'm going to Voorhees, and that's how I got, bro. That's how I got to Voorhees.
Amen. Amen. Your Voorhees college career is very, very of a good high standard. You guys did well. The times you were there, NAIA definitely made a lot of difference. I think a lot of times where people don't understand the NCAA and the NAIA is still there's some competitive people that play, and I think
like NAIA, Rodman came out of NAIA. Rodman, Terry Porter, like I can name a lot of pros that came out of NAIA schools. It's basically the same thing as Division II NCAA. You know what I mean? And you got a lot. Listen, you got a lot of guys, man, who transferred from Florida State who going to Breeze. We had 7-footers, Big Jew. That dude was he transferred. Lou White, he transferred from Maryland. You know that, right? Transferred to University of Maryland. He came to Voorhees. I mean, so it's like we had a lot of Hoopers at Voorhees College at the time, man. We was very competitive, man. Elite 8, Final 4 runs. You know what I mean? It was good, man. A lot of All-Americans. Not only myself was one, but had a whole bunch of All-Americans there who had guys who had shots at the league. Definitely played overseas. A whole bunch of us played overseas. So, I mean, it's like the talent was there. You know what I mean? And then the scouts was come to the gym because we was winning. And we had a tough conference. Bob Scotia was in our conference, Claflin University. We had a very, very tough conference, man. Allen University, Benedict at the time. It was listen, you had to be a baller to play in that conference.
Yes, sir. Definitely. I think that's something that people don't understand the magnitude. Me playing college baseball, I could tell people at Voorhees College, we played with some very, very tough people, and people understand it's not as easy to make people sound like, yeah, I get it, but like, listen, don't let television fool you. Like, if you're not that guy, you will get embarrassed.
Y'all could have beat. Trust me, y'all could have played soccer and whooped them. Y'all could have played Gamecocks and competed with them. Like, it all depends on. Sometimes it's not about your grades. It depends on. Some guys get to that level and they don't work as hard as others. You know what I mean? So that's how you would end up at Voorhees College sometime. And sometimes you end up because, hey, maybe you're a high school coach. They know a lot of coaches. You know what I mean? And also, sometimes you just chose to go to Voorhees because guess what? Guess what? I can shine at. You ain't got to be you could be a big fish in a small pond. I'm all for that. That's why I tell my son, even though he's getting recruited by Georgia Tech and all these schools, man, he can go to Murray State and College of Charleston. You can get the same thing a guy going to Kansas get.
Man, that you telling the truth. Let's go on to your collegiate college coaching career. Graduating from Voorhees College, you went to the big stage, coaching college, and a lot of times those opportunities, though, people don't understand, it's not as easy to making people sound like, man, I'm a coach collegiate basketball, collegiate of anything.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be handed to you.
Yeah.
What was that process? Just saying, I'm gonna go coach collegiate ball, and God gonna bless me while getting to that process.
Well, to be honest with you, Cal, there wasn't a goal to coach. The goal was to, like I did, to go play basketball overseas for a small stint in Spain and Madrid. And then, of course I had Russell, you know what I mean, when I was, basically in college. So I was trying to gather up some money real quick to go over to Spain and play some basketball for a little while, even though I had my college degree. I went over there and played ball a little while. And then after that, I said, what am I going to do next? I ended up taking a high school job in Maryland. And listen, it was a private school, but I ended up recruiting. The one thing about private, you can recruit. You can't recruit in public school. So I ended up recruiting because of my AAU contact. I ended up getting the number 4 player in the Latavius Williams out of Mississippi. Never forget. Listen, 6'8", 6'9", got drafted by OKC. At the time, I didn't know he was drafted. I mean, I'm just a guy who loved basketball. And I had Richard Dixon from New Orleans. I had Donald Williams who signed with Kentucky that year. So my first 2 years, man, I was blessed. I had no honor who St. John's, everybody was looking at. But I recruited those guys because I knew them before I went there. So I got a high school job, but we got dorms. They're like, well, coach, I'm coming with you. I'm like, God, I'm about to do it. I said, God, you about to do something special. So I end up getting all them guys to come with me. It's sometimes, man, just favor, Cal. I'm talking about just straight favor. You and I are real big on how God moves. If you do things the right way, God gonna move. If you do things the wrong way, He gonna move too. It's not the way He want to move. But so I always try to do things the right way. And all those guys, I was training those guys at first. I was coaching them at AU. So when I got the job, all of them came with me. I'm talking about, okay, all of the studs came with me. I'm at Progressive. I'm like, we got dorms, we got cooks. I mean, we got a national schedule. We sponsored by Adidas. And I'm the head coach. And the coach, Van Field, he left. I'm like, he left. And I'm the coach / AD. And I'm a young cat. I'm like, man, we end up winning, man. Make a long story short, we end up winning 2 state championships, man. And I was there for 4 years when I winning 2 out of the 4. I should have had 3. That was on me. I played a zone state championship. And, man, guy hit like 4 threes, man. I'm talking about, and then one hit off the backboard. So that was the end of that run. But I won 2. And now all of a sudden I'm getting calls from colleges, Cal. I'm like, I ain't even want. I'm getting calls from, I went down to Louisiana Tech, man, and they actually gave me the job. I went down to, I was the last assistant. I went down to Texas Southern. The head coach gave me the job. And then I interviewed at Northwestern Ohio in another school in Indiana. It was a JUCO. So to make a long story short, man, I said, I'm going to figure out what to do. And I said, well, look, I like this gig, man, in Northwestern Ohio. It was mixed. You had some African Americans, all kind of races there. So I liked it. I picked the job. Boom. I picked it. And then I say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick Northwestern Ohio. I picked Northwestern Ohio. They gave me good money, man. I was the top assistant there. And we ended up running off Division II school. We ended up running off. I was there for 4 years, ended up running off 3 conference championships and going to the Elite 8 and to the Final 4. And then, boom, that jumped off my career. But before that, I was at Denmark Tech left Progressive went to Denmark Tech. I came back to South Carolina with Denmark Tech for years. And then I chose my college job from there. I started going to my interviews. I chose Northwestern Ohio because the race, it was volleyball was there. It's good to see different kind of people. And I also had my son. So I'm like, well, and my daughter at the time, like, well, I want them to be around, not just African Americans, everybody. So that's why I really chose it. And they gave me good money. And I knew Chris Adams, the coach. And I was there for 4 years, man. And Kel, we won, man. We kicked some butt, man, for 4 years. And then from there, man, I had a whole bunch of All-Americans. And then I took some of the kids with me on Progressive. They came with me. They went to some schools, they signed, and then things were working out. Guess what they came at? They called me, Coach, man, I got 2 years left. I'm going to come with you. Come on, man. Oh, it's all about relationships, man. People want to coach basketball, college basketball. You got to build relationships. Not only do people got to know you, you got to know them, but they got to know you. It's all about who you know. It is, but sometimes it's about, you too. So Chris knew who I was. He was like, Russ, I know you about to go take Louisiana Tech because Carl Malone, listen, man, Carl Malone was on a fishing boat and called me, man. And he was, that's his school, Louisiana Tech. And I said, man, look, I just took the job at Northwestern Ohio. And boom. And we won, man. I'm talking about we beat Tulsa that year. We knocked off like 3 Division I's, man. And we lost to Purdue. Purdue by 8 points, man. And it was up at halftime by 4 points.
Wow.
How good our team was, man, Division two.
That's a blessing, my brother. That's a
Yep.
blessing.
College was good, man.
College is good, but now you've gone to another administrative role.
Mhm.
You're an AD now. Uh, are you considering going back to the collegiate level when your son graduates from high school? Is that because the reason why I'm saying that is because you know how we coach. You
Yeah.
know, we are defensive minded,
Yeah, I
set
am.
people,
I am.
and we're all about the academics. We're all about living your life and living a godly life.
Yeah.
And let's be truthful. I promise you, I love Darvin Ham and the Los Angeles Lakers. I think he's a great fit for LA. But I'll be honest with you, if the Lakers called you today and they said Russell Brand should be the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, I'd be laughing. I said, that's the best fit for the job because he know how to coach.
Yeah. You learn how to coach, man, dealing with kids, man. I coach all kind of kids, man. Brown, white, black. I'm talking about people from Japan. Listen, man, I've been everywhere because of basketball. They got camps in Japan I used to go to, man, just to go down there just to see the Japan and train the people from Japan for like a week, and they would pay me. So I done a lot of stuff with basketball. So you learn how to coach, but also you learn how to win. See, the thing about basketball, if you win, you move up. If you lose, you don't move up. So that's how guy comes to Charleston, some guy leave, some come in. Know why? The Charleston, he ain't winning. And he got to go back down or at the same level. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't move up unless you win. So now, my thing is that winning is very important, but also getting your guys out there. When I coached in high school, I wanted to win because every coach wanted to win. But I also wanted to make sure they went to Duke and Carolina and Wake Forest. And that's how I got college opportunity, because they say not only can this dude coach, he is getting out there to know the coaches so that his kids can go to school. And when you sign that year Progressive, I had a roster of 15 people. I signed 13 kids Division I kids. So think about it. If you're a college coach, I got to have that dude there, because not only is this dude a man of God, he does things the right way. He's a family man. He loves his kids, loves his wife. But at the same time, this dude know how to get things done. And that's what it all matters at the college ranks and high school ranks. You can be a high school coach forever if you want to. And that's not a bad job, because we're still helping kids. We're still mentoring kids. But you always want to challenge yourself and take another trip and say, you know what? Let me really see how good I am and how much I can learn at the next level, because it's guys who know more than me. You always talk about your favorite word since I know you was humble. Voorhees College, man, humble. Russ, you had 31 last night. And man, and I come out here, Russ, we killed them last night. You like, yeah, Russ, hey, stay humble. You got Benedict next week. Oh, yeah, he right. Yeah, he right. I need to be quiet. So you've always been a teacher, and I always respect that about you, because you've always been a teacher, man. Not only people could be a man of God, but everybody's not a teacher. You always been a teacher, man. You always been like, yeah, you got Benedict coming up next. So, that 31, you can enjoy yourself tonight, Russ. But tomorrow, you might want to erase that 31 points you had last night, because you got Benedict and they got a guy who Chicago Bulls looking at. So, good luck with that one.
Yes.
You're teaching people how to be humble, and I always appreciate about you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate about yourself. You've always had a chip on your shoulder. I watch how you play. It's more of, if you get knocked down, is feistiness. I get right back up and I'm gonna bark back. It's not, and it's not in a bad way, like you looking for a fight, but it's like having a whole armor of God. When I come into a fight, I'm coming to a fight prepared. Where does that come from? Because a lot of guys, you see a lot of guys, they talk a big game, but they don't back up what they say. They'll say like, man, I can play. And you're like, man, I get it. But there's some guys who, when they see you play, like I've seen you hit a three, come back, then I'm gonna lock them on defense. I'm gonna take the charge from the team.
Mm-hmm.
Then how you coach is more of like, I'll be in a shirt and a tie 1 minute, and then you see me next minute with some shorts and a shirt, and be like, "Yo, let's do the play." So where's this coming from? Because not every coach can shift and change and take their on the court experience and be very transparent on off the court. Where's that come from?
That's a good question, man. It comes from Kel. You know me from Voorhees, and I always had a chip on my shoulder. No lie, I'm not gonna lie, it comes from growing up in Norfolk. You have a chip on your shoulder basically when you start playing basketball. Because if you don't have that chip around here, they're going to drag you. You understand what I'm saying? And some people around here, they're not really that humble. You see what I'm saying? So, and they'll talk crap to you. You see what I'm saying? All the time. So in Norfolk, they talk crap to you all the time. You know what I mean? You got to press. Even if you hit a shot, that was luck. I just hit 2 threes. They never let you get ahead. It's like, I just hit 2 threes on you, bro. That's luck. You trash. And not in a bad way trying to start a fight, but that's just how they make you better. So when I got to Voorhees College, and I knew that we were stacked. We had, a lot of people don't know, we had a lot of Division I transfers, including myself. So when you're there, I already had a chip coming from prep school, committing to Wright State, but you got to have a chip because people always put you in a situation where they don't think you're good. And you have to prove to people that you're good. So the chip comes from proving to people that are good in my neighborhood I came from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the biggest thing while we here, your son, Russell Branch Jr., aka Virginia's own South Carolina assassin. I call him Assassin Brandon Ingram is what I call him. I see his game. He has 6'3", 6'4", projected. Very, very. I wouldn't say he's skinny. I say he's a strong cat that, because he plays baseball, got a strong arm. Outfield, definitely. I see him playing 2 sports on the collegiate level. You have a daughter who's very, very intelligent, very smart, has a bright future as well. But you said that I'm going to sort of dial back to focus on my son's career and then focus on my daughter as well. Your son, a lot of people, I want to always give people their flowers now. Top 3, top 4, however you put it, however people put it.
And now they got him as top 5 in the state of South Carolina. So he's coming to Virginia. An article came out. Article just came out probably about a month ago where they got him listed as top 5 in the state of South Carolina. Top 5.
Top 5 state South Carolina.
Yeah. So now he's coming to Fort Young National Prep School. You get national attention. So you're gonna probably get, the rankings gonna change. I got him in the top 100 in the 2023 class, probably by December, probably before December in Fort Union. You know what I mean? Because the rankings come out about 3 to 4 times a year. So I projected him to be, top 100, top 50 on that rivals list. Some lists is like Prep Hoops. They already got him, as top 25, but that rivals and ESPN list, it counting the most. So, but I will say this because he played baseball. He passes the ball better than most people. His left hand is very strong. His right hand is very strong. You've been a baseball guy. You scoop with the right, you throw with the left. You see what I'm saying? Or you got to scoop with the left and throw with the right. And then my dad is ambidextrous. My dad is both-handed. My daughter's both-handed. Even though my son is not both-handed, I think he got a little bit of it from somewhere because he can hit that ball, man, with his left hand like it's his right hand. And I don't know if it comes from his training a lot because I train him in baseball too. I mean, I'll get out there and throw him a bucket of baseballs, man. Put the cage up and pray that he don't knock my head off. You know what I mean? So we always grinding, man, and training for the kids out there. You know what I mean? Russell got a lot of schools on him, man. Baseball schools, basketball schools. But the biggest thing with him, he has a dad that understands the game. And he also understands that you have to train. You got to grind. So right now, we're in 2 times a day. we getting it in, Kel.
I got it. Absolutely. Now, biggest thing that I would want to bring to attention, we'll get your son, hopefully this year. Definitely want to interview him. Um,
You'll definitely get him before he goes to Fort Union for sure.
I got it.
Went to the dentist today, man.
I got it. You being the biggest thing, an African American father, you don't see African American fathers putting that work on both ends. I'm not just talking on the just the son, you're gonna play sports.
And he's qualified already.
Qualified.
You go to Duke, Vanderbilt, you want to go at College of Charleston, he's already qualified.
Gotcha. His education mind as well, but also his spiritual side. His father's telling him how important it is to have the Lord in your life and how to not get caught in the wolves. Just from your personal experience, how important is it to be his father in his life? You see a lot of times, and there's no disrespect to anybody out here, people who make it to the league,
yeah,
I'm all for it. But a lot of times you see, with most of them that look like us, you see a mother, but man, the father is M-I to the A.
Listen, even thing go right with his mother. I still was there for my son and daughter. Always. And I tell people all the time, you can't let what didn't work out mess it up with your kids. You can't. And even though me and her listen, we still to this day, both are godly people. And some things just don't work out. But when they don't work out, whether you get a divorce, whether you separate, whatever you do, you still gotta be a dad. And that sometimes, I don't say that's what's wrong, but sometimes that's what's wrong with us. Meaning what men, whether it's African American, whether it's white, whether it's brown, whatever. We say, okay, that didn't work out. So what I'm gonna do, she want everything the way you want it. Okay, you can have it. You don't treat your kids that way. So my son my son and daughter, we're like this. We're so tight. And even now, my son is with me. You know what I'm saying? He's not with his mom, not because she's a bad mom. He's an awesome mom. He knows that what my dad's trained. I'm going my daddy. My dad's gonna make sure I get to Duke or whatever school I want to go to. So it wasn't a knock on her, because me and her are, always gonna be really good friends and really good parents to our kids. But the biggest thing, man, is to answer your question, bro. Being a dad is amazing thing, man. When God gave us opportunity to be dads, like I was like, man, I'm a dad, man. Like, man, God, I appreciate it. And then you gave me a son first. And I love my baby girl, but you gave me a son first, then you gave me a daughter. I'm done. I don't need no kids. I got a son and a daughter. God, you done blessed me. And from there, I didn't know what else was going to be or what Hannah was going to be. Hannah loved to draw. So now we push her and we train her with drawing. Russell play basketball and baseball. So now what we do, we train her. I pay for trainers to train my son. Even though I'm a trainer myself, I still pay them to train my son because it's good to talk to different coaches. But the biggest thing that you're talking about right now is God. You got to know who God is, because if you don't know who God is, you can't know who you are. So how can you talk about I'm going to the NBA? You don't even know who God, you don't even know who made this earth. You don't even know why the sun come up and down. So how in the world, Russ, is you going to understand when you get into a marriage or when you get into a relationship with different people? It's not about a man and a woman. You might have to get to know Calvin. Calvin's perspective might be different from yours. But we all love the Lord. So a foolish man knows everything. A man that's wise, he knows God. So if a guy don't know God, basically he's a foolish man. That's my mindset. I'm gonna make sure my son is not a foolish girl. He gonna know who God is and my daughter. They gonna know. Listen, especially him being a man, African American. He got to know who God is, man, because this world, man, can be very cruel if you don't know who God is. When you know God, if the police stop you, you'll know. Not to say that smart, you'll know the first thing you do is what? Gotta stop praying. Listen, he might be cantankerous, but he knocking on the window. Don't you say what's going on? The first thing you about to do, you gotta pray. God can move that situation and touch him, and he won't be so mad. That's what teach your kids about God, and you gotta know when stuff go wrong, because it will go wrong in life, Kel. Both of us know that.
Yeah.
Gotta know who God is, because God keeps you grounded and humble. So it's real important that I'm a great dad. It's more important that I teach my son about who Christ is. Because if he don't know who Christ is, he ain't gonna know who himself is.
Amen. I think you're hitting home, my brother. And we just want to thank you for coming to Logan Power Show. For those that are watching, Russell Branch, aka Bless Coach, Bless AD, Bless Father, Bless Friend. And y'all keep watching. I promise you, when you turn on the television, you're gonna see some things. You're gonna see him doing on the sideline, you're gonna see his son do some great things. Remember that it's not how you start, ladies and gentlemen. It is definitely how you finish when it's all said and done. Final thing, coach, the legacy. We know that you a man of God, you know, a believer. We know that you want to be a dynamic father, and still fatherhood is still a story that's not been finished yet.
Oh
You're not
yeah. Nowhere near.
what
Nowhere
is
near.
when it's all said and done, what do you want people to remember about you?
Okay, you've been knowing me since 40s. I mean, fellowship of Christian athlete, president of that, as a man of God, not a perfect man, because there's nobody that's perfect. A man of God, for sure. That's one. A teacher, man of God, one. Second, a father, and thirdly, man, education is very important, man. Not only for everybody, but our African American kids, man. We have to understand how important education is, man, when it come down to our kids. So God, being a great father, and teaching education, man, because it's very important. Without education, without God, we'll go nowhere. Without our fathers, we can't go nowhere. And without education, brother, you ain't going too far.
Amen. Amen. For those that are watching, again, keep watching. Understand that God has a plan for us, and that plan is to be great, and we're gonna be great together. Hey, that's
Yes,
all the
sir.
time I got. My name is Cal, the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. We love y'all. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, I love you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for
Love,
having me.
love you too, man.
It's the Logan Power Show. Inspirational and motivational. It's the Logan Power Show. Informational to help you grow. Logan Power Show.